Little girl begged bikers to arrest her. Watch what bikers did. I was standing at the gas station that afternoon, watching the clouds roll in and the road shimmer under the heat, when I saw her, a tiny girl, maybe 7 years old, running barefoot toward a group of bikers who had just pulled in. Her face was streaked with tears and dust, and her little hands were trembling as she clutched a torn backpack. "Please," she cried out, breathless, "please arrest me." The bikers froze. You could hear the engines ticking as they cooled. One of them, a big guy named Hawk with arms covered in tattoos and a heart bigger than most men I know, took off his helmet and crouched down. "Sweetheart," he said gently, "we're not cops. What's wrong?" The little girl looked around, panicked, then whispered, "If you arrest me, they won't take my mama again." The silence that followed could have broken glass. The men looked at each other, rough riders in leather, men who'd seen war, prison, and everything in between, suddenly speechless before a child's pain. Hawk knelt closer. "Who's trying to take your mama?" "The people from the shelter," she sobbed. "They said she's sick, that she can't keep me, but she's all I got." The bikers exchanged glances, the kind that don't need words. Hawk's voice dropped low. "Where's your mama now, sweetheart?" The girl pointed toward the old gas station building. "In the back, she's cleaning the floor." They walked inside, slow, steady, and there she was. A young woman, maybe late 20s, in a janitor's uniform, scrubbing the floor with tears falling silently down her face. Her hands were raw, her clothes damp from sweat and soap. When she saw her daughter behind the group of bikers, she froze, terrified. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "She didn't mean to bother anyone. Please don't hurt her." Hawk took off his sunglasses, his voice soft but commanding. "Ma'am, we ain't here to hurt nobody. Your girl just asked us for help." The woman broke down then, her knees gave out, and she sank onto the wet floor. "They're coming to take her tomorrow. I can't afford treatment. They said she'll be better off with strangers." The bikers stood there, silent. Then one of them, a younger man with a long scar on his neck, said, "Not if we can help it." They huddled outside. A dozen bikes. 12 men with rough lives behind them. Men who'd made mistakes, done time, lost families. But in that moment, they became something else: protectors, brothers. By sunset, they had raised enough money among themselves to pay for the woman's treatment and legal support. They called in a lawyer, a friend from a veterans group, who agreed to handle her case for free. But that wasn't the end. A few days later, something incredible happened. A black limousine pulled up outside the same gas station. The door opened, and out stepped a woman dressed in white, tall, elegant, and confident. A billionaire philanthropist who had heard the story through local news. She walked in, and what she saw stopped her in her tracks. The janitor woman and her daughter laughing as they played in a small water tube the bikers had set up outside for fun. The mother's bandaged hands splashing water, her daughter giggling with freedom in her eyes. The billionaire smiled softly and said, "You know, sometimes the richest people are the ones who have the least." Then she turned to Hawk. "You and your men. You've done something that money can't buy, but let me help make it last." She paid for the janitor's full recovery, helped her secure a home, and offered her a stable job at one of her foundations. The bikers visited often, always welcomed with open arms and homemade food. Months later, that little girl rode with the bikers for the first time, sitting proudly behind Hawk on his Harley, wearing a tiny leather jacket that said, "Daughter of the Road." And every time someone asked her about that day, she'd smile and say, "I asked them to arrest me, but instead, they set us free." Moral: kindness doesn't always wear a uniform. Sometimes it rides on 2 wheels, covered in road dust and leather. And sometimes, the ones who seem rough on the outside carry the gentlest hearts of all.